Great.
We're having fun talking about social media and the animal health business. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing, what your business is.
Well, we have, I'm an equine veterinarian. We have 5 practices in the greater Toronto area. And so we're very active on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I write a blog. I'm an interest in equine business management, so I write a blog on that. That's it. We try to be as involved as we can.
So you're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in your sort of the competition who's doing any of these things, or are you the sole people out there doing it now?
I think we're kind of the leader in our area. I think a lot of people are trying to dip their toes in the waters, and there's a lot of just hesitation, fear, as you talked about. But we've just dove right into the deep end and having fun with it, swimming laps.
Swimming laps, I love that. With the horses too, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, how are you using Twitter in particular? I know you have a personal Twitter feed. There's also a Twitter feed for the business.
Yep.
And I think some of your colleagues also have Twitter feeds.
5 of our vets are on Twitter, and we brought in Twitter mainly because equine practice is based on relationships. And if this is a way that people can start to follow veterinarians, get to know their personality, get to know what they're all about, and then it's going to be a lot easier to develop a relationship. A couple of our vets have pretty good senses of humor that doesn't necessarily get translated during an examination. It's often we're very serious through that. And this is a way for people to read the other side of it and just to exchange good information. We do a lot of online webinars and we do a lot of client education scenarios. So it's a great way to communicate to our customers and non-customers, our potential customers, of things that we're doing.
So what kind of things might you tweet about? Are you tweeting about things within the practice? What are sort of the effective sorts of ways that you're using Twitter?
Effective ways is, we're talking about things that may be facing our industry. And so my wife, who's my partner, she works in a racetrack practice, so a lot of the stuff that she tweets about is relating to the racing industry. So she wants to be a resource for other people interested in the racing industry to go to her. But then we'll also talk about just interesting things that happen to horses, whether it's with horse welfare, but also just amusing or entertaining stories. Yeah. We're just trying to have fun with anything that's interesting. I get a lot of hits when I talk about stuff that's not even related to horses. There were a few things with SPCA issues going on in Toronto last year that I was tweeting about, and I got a lot of responses on. So I think, and that's the side that I want people to know, is that, we're not just horses, but we love all animals, and again, just trying to show a more complete picture of what we are as people.
And you said you're on Facebook. You have a blog. Are you doing YouTube videos also?
Yep.
How are you using that? So you've got a whole infrastructure going on. How are you keeping the infrastructure knowing about the other bits you're doing? In other words, do you tweet links to blogs? Do you tweet links to YouTube videos?
We interact. Everything links to each other, and it all goes back to our webpage. And we're just trying to, and then we'll do a webinar, and then we'll link that later to our slideshow. We'll put the webinar up there, and so we just have this circle that's always going around that everybody can find anything about us.
When we met yesterday, I asked you the ultimate question that everyone always asks you, and I'd love it if you might take a stab at the answer again, which is the ROI question. People will frequently ask me, well, this all sounds great, David, but how can I know that being on Twitter or doing a blog or doing YouTube videos can be valuable? I mean, you're a businessman, and you're running a business. You're spending a lot of time, obviously, on this. How can you know, or how can you understand whether this is providing value?
I think more and more people are finding us through online means, and so our philosophy in our practice is that the person who takes care of our social media is as important as the receptionist, because they're the ones that are handling that first line of impact. But we also get people that will come to us first time as clients and say, well, I heard about you on the web, or I saw this on the web. But also our business, in this tough economic times, we've done well, and we've had growth the last 2 years. And I think some of it has to be related to social media, because we've had good growth. And everybody, I hear people all the time saying, every time I go on the web, you guys are there, you're somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and interesting, because we're here with a group of other people who are in the veterinary business, and many people are telling me that their business is tough, and here you are growing.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's certainly some proof.
I think so, and I think we're just solidifying the relationships of our existing customers and letting potential customers know about us.
Right.
So it's going to make that barrier of entry a lot easier. They know about us.
And once more, the name of the business? business?
It's McKee Pownall Equine Services.
And your Twitter feed, personal Twitter feed is?
McKee Pownall.
And the business one is?
equinevetbusiness.com.
Great. Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Have a great time.